So, welcome to Business Inspire, and today we're joined by Michelle Baptiste, the visionary founder of Selecfit Shapewear, one of Trinidad and Tobago's fastest growing shapewear and wellness brands. Michelle's journey is deeply personal. Out of profound loss, she rebuilt her life and emerged as a powerful advocate for women's confidence, body acceptance, and emotional well being. Through Selectfit, she has empowered thousands of Caribbean women to reshape their confidence from inside out, redefining it not as vanity, but as survival strategy and self leadership. Michelle, thank you very much for agreeing to do this interview with us.
Thank you for having me. It's
So,
an honor to be here.
excellent. So, Michelle, what can you share about your personal journey and how rebuilding your confidence after loss led to the creation of Selectfit?
So my journey started probably at a, my journey started when I was a young lady. I grew up in an environment where there wasn't much love for me, I guess. I was an outcast in my own home with my family, which led me to being homeless for a period of time. It also led me from relationship to relationship. I have three kids and a brokenness that I couldn't rebuild. At the time, I didn't have the tools to rebuild. So, I had to reprogram my mind and I tried to build confidence to go out and face persons again. And I didn't have the resources, I didn't know how to. So, I spent a lot of time in Bible. I spent a time with God. I studied the book of David and it gave me strength and it helped me to reprogram my mind. And in doing so and building strength, I had to share my journey with a lot of other women. And, I bought a waist trainer after I had my second son because, I would have gained a lot of weight. Stress is something that, we pack on weighs a lot. And I bought a waist trainer and I was showing my customers what was happening and my friends, and they loved it. And I started to build from there. I started to buy waist trainers and give to customers, etc. And that was it.
If you, how difficult was it for you to get from homelessness to where you are now?
Oh, it was extremely difficult. It took probably like a decade. It took a lot of mental strength. It took a group of women to come together with me in the church and to help to build my self confidence. It took me learning who I am as a person. Because when we look at our lives, we look at the things that we did wrong. For me, I did. And I punished myself over and over and over again, you know, because I feel like I was unworthy of anything good. What good could come from me because of my life experiences. And really in understanding that, God made us with a purpose, you know, it it gave me a strength to know that I wasn't made by accident. I came here with something to give, something to share. And with that empowerment, I was rebooted. Like I felt like I was born again. With all baptism, I felt like anything is possible because anything I put my hand to do, I believe it would have prospered. One of the things that I said as a mantra, I will never be broke again. I will never be broke again. It was all over my little apartment, my little one room. And I said that every second of every day, I will always have money. I will always have money. And I would use it to help the other young women who came into me to help them, and I still do it to this day. That's my purpose, to help women. You make me feel to cry just saying it. It was tough.
Um, as we enter into this new year, why do you believe that confidence is such a powerful theme now for Caribbean women?
Oh, so 2026 in this world is something else, especially for women as leaders, women as business owners, women who has a career. Number one, we have to compete among ourselves. We compete, against men. We have our families, our children. We have so many roles. And we, a lot of women and I know, including myself, we put on this facade and we just keep going. We just keep rolling, we bear things and we just keep moving because that's all we know, right? And then at the end of the day, we hold the pillow to our faces and we cry, in the night when nobody's there, we break down. So confidence is something that, again, it goes back to having, understanding who we are, why we are here, understanding we have purpose, and to stop breaking ourselves up in pieces, right? Is ensuring that we remain whole so that we could share with others, because we can't give from something that's broken. So for 2026, the wholeness is important for us, because eventually we would fall apart. I mean, I've had so many anxiety attacks. I've had a minor heart attack because I kept giving, until your mouth dry, until you feel like you don't have anything else, and then you fall.
Yeah.
So for 2026, I feel it's very important for Caribbean women to understand that we are strong, yes, as Caribbean women, but come on, we can't give from something that's broken. So rebuilding, understanding who we are, looking at ourselves in the mirror honestly. I do this thing where I in my birthday suit, and I look in the mirror and I look at myself and I say, Michelle, I love you. You are worthy. You deserve it. It's a very hard thing to do because I cry most of the time. But I have to tell myself I deserve it. In order to survive in this time, you have to be strong. Your foundation has to be really strong.
Now, I know you often say that confidence is a woman's most powerful accessory. What does that mean, in everyday life?
So in everyday life, like I was mentioning before, we go into to boardrooms, we go into meetings, with a facade. You see women dress to the best, and they enter a room and their shoulders slump, they start to speak, they whimper, like you're not sure what they're saying, their frequencies go, their energies go. You understand? So your best accessory in any outfit, any hairstyle, any look is your confidence. People feel you and they get your vibration before they even in a conversation with you. Your confidence is your greatest accessory. So it doesn't matter to me if I walk into a bank in a slipper and a tights and a jersey. When I step in, you know I'm there. You know I'm somebody because I know that I am somebody. You understand? Because my confidence is internal. It's not based on what I wear. It is who I am. Yeah, that's it.
Lovely. I know for many women coming out of a challenging year, what are some of the practical steps they can take to rebuild their confidence in 2026?
For speaking from personal experience, I had to again reprogram my mind because all my thoughts were negative about myself based on what everybody told me. I wasn't good enough, I could never be. So I had to read a lot of books. Miles Monroe is one of my favorites. You understand? Jim Rohn, I had, Florence Noble-Shin, I would fall asleep with audiobooks. So if I couldn't think right, I had to find the thoughts of others to replace my own thoughts momentarily. Right? I had to put up post-it notes all over. You understand, my house, again, to just keep reaffirming. I had to cut off people in my life, people who kept reminding me that this is how life is. Life is so hard. We could never become anything. Everything was a problem. People who criticized me and disguised it as love. So I had to isolate myself for a while, even from my own family members who say they love me, but left me. When you're down, people pat you on your shoulder, they don't hand you anything. You understand? So those are some of the basic things that I had to do in order to get to know who I was so that I could rebuild and move forward.
If you can identify three daily practices that women can do in their attempt to rebuild themselves, to regain their confidence, what would the three be?
I would say we as women, we say, people have to like me as I am, right? But we get up and we go on the road in a bonnet, you know. We save our clothes for a special event, you know. You you dress for the future you. So every time you leave home, dress for the future you. Dress for where you want to be. I am wealthy, and if I am wealthy, then I would look the part. It doesn't matter if it's some, cheap gel and your little powder. Dress, you dress the part. Be kind to yourself. What you say to yourself is more important than what people say to you. Be kind to yourself. Forgive yourself. You understand? That is really important. And then the last thing that they could do is to move. Move. If you believe that God is with you, you move. You can't sit back and wait for something to happen. We make things happen and we trust and we have faith. You understand? Even if it's little by little, you keep a commitment to yourself. If you say, I'm going to wake up 5 o'clock every day, get up 5 o'clock every day. Do it for you to show yourself that you can be committed to bigger things. If you say, I'm going to drink 3 bottles of water a day, drink the 3 bottles. Keep small commitments to yourself so that the bigger things, it'll come easy. Those three practical things are gems.
How can women balance the pressures of beauty standards and authentic self-acceptance? Because I know that that is one of the challenges that Caribbean women and more so younger women are facing on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yeah, because we a lot of us, including myself at a time at a season, you understand, felt that if my waist wasn't this size, I have 3 kids, so I say my breast without a bra, my boobs without a bra, I mean will hit my waist. I understand who I am. I understand that this is my body. I love my body. I love myself. If I choose to put on a waist trainer, it's because I'm putting on something and I want to look a little snatched about it. Not because I can't go without it. You understand? Because this is who I am. We could only pretend for so long mentally. You understand? When you come into something and you want to buy a good bra, it's not the bra wearing you. You are wearing the bra. It's you, right? It have size 2, size 3, size 6, size 9, size 12, size. We are all women created in the image of God. We are all beautiful. And if we could, I have customers who come in here like a 5XL, listen to me, and they say, Michelle, you have me loving myself. I love my hips. I love it. And I love these customers because this is who I am. Embrace yourself. And if you feel to put on something, that is your business. You choose to do something for yourself is a choice. It's not a crutch. There's a difference. You can't I can't leave home without it because I wouldn't be somebody. No, it's you first. And then, I don't try to be like anybody else. I do my own hair, I do my own nails, and I could afford to go out and get it done because I want to, because I enjoy it, because it's me. I don't care what anybody says. You understand? She could go and do it. I don't care. This is for me because this is my life. This is my 24 hours. Nobody else's. Tomorrow belongs to somebody else. You understand? That's it. Today is mine. Yesterday is gone. I can look at it. I can review it. I can't change it. I can live today. I can make plans for tomorrow. So if my plans for tomorrow is for me, why would I be thinking about somebody else? How somebody else looks or what they have? No, 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 no. This is my life. I'm going to live my life for me every single day. That's what I do and that's what I believe.
Lovely. I love what you just said there. And I hope that, the viewers and listeners will, walk away with that. The 24 hours really belong to us, and we
Yeah,
can choose to do it with it whatever we can or we want to.
correct.
So,
Correct.
how would you say confidence and self-worth influence leadership and success for Caribbean women, especially entrepreneurs?
So for me, for example, I had a meeting with a group of men. I joined an industry, and they, started to talk to me, like in circles, speak around me. And I adjusted myself and I said, what is happening here right now? These men feel because it have WO in front of my name that I, am less, that I need some kind of different assistance. No, 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 no. I know my business, and we have to know our business from scratch. If you're an entrepreneur, if you are a cook, you're a hairdresser, you know your business from scratch. You do your own research. You become learned in different areas. You things that you don't know, you hire somebody who knows. You understand? And you come complete. You can't come in pieces and expect to be respected. We have to do our groundwork. We have to know what it is we want to become. And not wait for somebody to tell us. But if you don't know who you are, like Little Red Riding Hood, who I tell the wolf which way to go and where you going, I don't know. But he said, "Well, go anywhere, any road but do." You understand? Because if you don't know where you're going, then go anywhere. What are you asking me? I know where I'm going. I know where I've been. I know everything about my business. I do a lot of research. I study. I fall asleep listening to books. I read a book a month. Every year for the past decade, I have read almost every book there is, right? Because I'm strengthening myself to be the best in my job, to be the best so that no one can question my abilities. So we can't come on with a facade as entrepreneurs, be confident, but then somebody asks you something and you don't. Know your work, know your business, know your industry, know where you're going, and know what you want. And people will respect you. You respect yourself, respect your industry, and people will respect you.
Why do you believe that confidence must come before strategy goals or business growth?
Because I mean, you won't be able to carry it. Confidence, having these external things are like baskets, like handbags, and you have your goals here. You'll have vision, they have strategy, you have business plan, marketing plan. You plan until 2030. But that's because you heard someone say you must set goals, short term, medium term, long term. But do you really believe it? Do you really believe that you can achieve and do those things? We don't believe it. We say it because everybody's saying it. But do we really believe it? Are we really confident in ourselves to say, well, this is it? Do we even believe we deserve it, as I said before? Right? So once if you have confidence, you believe in yourself. Listen, listen to me. I visualize things. I see things before it happens. I manifest. I meditate. And I said, this here, when I said I wanted to be in the region, this is a visualization that I did in 2019. I was here already. I was here before. So wherever I want to be, I visualize it. I ask for a contract, I write it up, I jump in my bedroom and I celebrate. Listen to me. I have a whole party in my house as if somebody called me and told me I got through. And it works every time. You celebrate your wins before because you create in your mind first. It's here first, and then everything. If you can see it, you believe it, it will happen. That's it.
This is so true. What advice would you give to young women in the Caribbean who want to start a business but feel held back because of self doubt?
And they feel held back because of
Yes,
self-worth.
because of self doubt.
So to become an entrepreneur, you have to be a jumper, right? I resigned my job in the midst of COVID. I had a small little mini car. I threw some braids in the back of that car and I drove all around selling braids and waist trainers. Because I said, listen, do or die. This season here will not pass me. I'm tired of going rent to rent. I'm tired of opening my fridge and only seeing water bottles. You have to get fed up. of where you are. You open your wardrobe and it's two dress and a sandals. No, we deserve more. Why could one group or one demographic have it and we not have it? What is the difference between this group and this group of women in the world? There is no difference. None. You understand? So you have to be, let's wrong to say you had to be hungry. Listen to me. I was hungry. I was desperate. I refused it. Listen, I refused. I said, what are the days where I am eating ice and drinking water? What are the days that my children have to go to bed early because they're hungry? And I'm downstairs, I crying in a corner. No. You have to be desperate. You have to give your all. You can't have no plan B, no plan C, no plan D. Give everything, like your life depending on it, and watch God. You know, stop telling people your plans. Tell God your plans. Write it down. I have a diary. I have diaries. If you want to know my life, you go back to a pile of notebooks. Every day I write what I did and what I'm going to do, and I just tick off as I go along. Because when you write it, it becomes life. You know, because we are creators. So you write it down and you just go. No backup plan. You just move. And this is how an entrepreneur has to be. If you're going to be a hairdresser or a nail tech, listen, you're going to be the best. If people open from 9 to 5, you open it from 5 p.m. from when you come from work until 10 p.m. and you catch that market. You know, you have to think, you have to be creative, you have to be hungry, you have to be fed up with your life as it is. It's over. I'm tired of using Vaseline on my legs. I want shea butter. You understand? I'm tired. I want more, not just for me, but for my family, my generations to come. I want to leave a legacy. Michelle Baptiste was here. She was here. She lived and she died. You know, there was something in between. She lived, achieved, shared, grew, helped others. Then she died. That's it.
Nice. Um, how do you personally navigate moments when your confidence is tested as a leader?
My confidence is tested right through. Even as the example, when I sat down in the boardroom with those gentlemen, inside my stomach turning because it's executives, CEOs, all the who is who turning, but they couldn't see it turn. They couldn't see it. They couldn't tell from my face. They had no idea. I hold my fist in on the side of my leg and I squeeze my fingers and I keep reminding myself in the back of my brain, my mantra. You understand? Who are you? Who are you? Because sometimes when I run out of words to convince myself, I have to go back to all the books I would have read. I would have gone back to the story of King David. I would go back to Joseph when he was in the pit and they pull him out. I remind myself of these things as a reinforcement to know, listen, come on, girl, get up, you know, get up. That's it. Because I so I'm in a lot of situations where my confidence is tested, but nobody knows. Yeah.
Um, how would you say Select Fit has been helping to redefine beauty, wellness, and the body image of women in the Caribbean?
So when I had a customer in St. Vincent last week, and she sent me a very long voice note with all the thank yous in the world. You know, and it was so, I mean, I almost cried. I have the voice note saved, you know, because when you come into our store or you call us, you know, from across the Caribbean and the US, Canada, for an item, we talk to you in such a way for you to understand this is not a crutch. This is your body. All right, what's going on? Let me see you. You know, so we're going to work on it. You're going to walk. You're going to drink your tea if you need a detox tea. You're going to stop eat after. This is medicine, you know. You're going to stop eat after 6 p.m. If you're going to waist train, you're going to waist train for 4 hours in your waist trainer. You're going to call me and give me a follow up to know where you are. So you can't come into a conversation with me and say, you know, I saw this and talk about yourself negatively. No, no, no. No sale is happening. It's a conversation, it's love. You understand? We have love notes we give to customer. You open it, customers cry all the time. It's crazy. You understand? To help them to understand that, you know, it's okay. I said, you know, everything is going to be okay. And once we understand that, it will be easier to get through the day. One of the sisters from the church, when the church had to take care of me when I lost everything, Sister Valerie Jack, she said, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Every day, wake up hungry. You know what is hungry? Hungry. This too shall pass. I said, when I step to sleep, I can't close my eyes. I'm sleeping with my eyes open. And I say, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Look at that. Look what God has done. Look at this, from the streets, from rejection, from humiliation. Look what God has done. Remember that this too shall pass.
How do you believe Caribbean culture shaped the way women view confidence and self-worth?
So the culture in the Caribbean is one where we voluptuousness, as far as I know, especially here in Trinidad. You're half naked, and if you don't look a particular way, the culture is, the wine and jam and drink, and that's what has been portrayed to us as the culture for women. That's how we've been programmed to say this is how women fit in. You wear the little top, the little pants, the heels, and they call it Caribbean woman. How is that Caribbean woman? Caribbean woman in boardrooms. You understand? Caribbean women are the strongest women in this world. We are mother, father, entrepreneur, you hear me? Cleaner, gardener. I bought a drill the other day. I put up my own shelves in my bathroom. You understand? We have to redefine what culture is in the Caribbean for a black woman. We have to redefine it. We have to set the stage. My daughter is 14 years old. She's already wrote CX. What am I doing? I am reshaping what they think culture is. You understand? I have my master's degree. I did my master's in my 40s. That's redefining. You understand? That's my culture. My culture is wealth, blessings, productivity, love, and compassion. That is the culture of a Caribbean woman. So in my own household and everybody I interact with, we are redefining the culture of a woman in the Caribbean. That's what I'm doing. One woman at a time.
What role would you say community plays in supporting and rebuilding confidence after setback?
Yeah, so community is really important in one way, and communities are set back in other ways. Right? So you have community, people you're surrounded by, people you grew up with, people who knows you, and people who keep tying you to your past. Remember, you know. And then you have on the other side where you have a group of women, or your environment who supports you, who believe that you can be more. And you have to be very selective in these people. You really have to pray on it to know who these people are, because your community could pull you down to nothing, or they could prep you up. I had to leave the community I had to. And I had to adopt a whole new family of women who every day would call me and say, girl, get up. They would come and they would knock at that little, the room was, listen, I can't even tell you where I was living when I got a little small apartment. It's not even an apartment, a room. You understand? And the door was an iron door, them kind of steel door. You hear it knocking, pam, pam, pam. Three sisters from the church in front. Get up. You understand me? A basket of food. You understand? To eat, somebody there just brushing the hair, just sit out there with me, praying with me, talking with me. Listen, community is really important. If you have the right community, it's really important.
That's so true. What stories from select fit customers you would say inspired you about the confidence you would have instilled in women in the region?
So, oh, we have so much stories in this So I have some customer stand out. I had a customer who came in with her daughter, and we were playing music in the store, and we were all dancing together in the store, right? So when you come in, you know the music is gospel music in my store, of course. Everybody was just dancing and whatever, right? And then she came back a couple months after, and the same song was played. So she started to cry, didn't understand what was happening. She said her daughter died.
Wow.
And the same song that we danced to, the same song she played in the funeral, and she come in the store and the store played the same song. So we sat together for hours in that store. That is something that made me understand why I do what I do, and I was thankful to God for the opportunity to be there for someone. Yeah. So this is just one of 100 stories. A customer called me yesterday. She said, Michelle, I don't mean to keep you on the phone, but I just want to tell you, I put on the shapewear and the skirt started to fall off. She said, girl, I had to run outside to my husband and tell him, baby, look at me. I need to get smaller clothes. Minutes. So it have two sides, to it. There's a lot of, pain on one side, persons who had cancer, who came back to get the bras, with the pattern
Patterns, yeah.
like, listen, there's so much things here. The customer had a triple bypass the other day, she came back and, and we just, it's like this environment is like, it's family. And that's the only word I have faith is family. That's it. So from all the way around the world, I've customers in St. Croix, New St. Vincent customer, St. Lucia, and we all communicate, and it's a family of women who have some form of insecurities, and we building not only physical first but on the mental first. That's it.
If Caribbean women embrace confidence as a collective movement, what kind of social or economic transformation you believe we can see in this region?
Listen, listen. I believe that if we would come together as women, Caribbean women, really empowered, not to fight each other, not to look at the negatives and pull down each other, but really come together and network as businesses, right? As networking, as professionals. Listen, anything can happen. We would group together, we would be in Africa, we would be in Colombia, you understand? We would have female organizations where we come together as a group and we travel, we go to China, you understand, as a group, not as an individual, but as a team empowered to go around and to have an impact in this world. To say we from the Caribbean is not cricket, it's not football, it's Caribbean women. Yeah, we could do so much if we network. I have a girl was doing my eyelashes the other day, and she said she does body contouring. I went up on my social media and I did an ad for that girl. I sent the ad for her. The girl started crying. You understand? That's it. I called another customer. I said, "You have a business, not so?" She said, "Yes, Mish." I said, "Listen, do a flyer. I'm going to do a promo for you. Send customers to you." The girl started crying on the phone again. That's what we do. Once we are in a position to help and to bring others up, you use your position, you use what you were blessed with to help everybody to, and we all can go there together. Yeah.
Yeah. What does your Confidence 2026 look like for you personally?
2026 for me, I have, I do so much. My mind is always so far and beyond. So the vision that I had, as I mentioned in 2019, to see myself here, I this interview and other interviews that I have had is helping to reshape my confidence on a different level. It's helping me to see beyond what is in front of me right now. Right? It's helping me to see that I could interact with anybody anywhere in the world. So this is giving me a different level of confidence because sometimes, language barriers, culture barriers, customs, you go into something and you feel a little bit shake, you feel a little bit. Yes, but I'm very thankful to God that He is showing me now. Come on, girl, get up, get up, get up. So I know now I could go into any region, any country, any language, and be able to communicate confidently. Just knowing that I have a purpose, yeah, and my purpose is to serve. When I bring in new employees and I train them, first thing they learn is we are here to serve. Yeah, and in serving and humility, it is helping me to build my confidence when I realize it's not about me, it's about the women who I interact with on a daily basis. So it's not sometimes to see myself, but when I see a woman look at me, it helps to build my confidence to see that I've had an impact. That's it for me for 2026 to continue to serve.
Yeah. My last question, Michelle. What message would you want to send to women in the Caribbean that would carry them for the rest of this year?
I want to say, as I mentioned before, because I am trying to encourage just a few women right now to rebuild mentally and emotionally. And again, what as I mentioned before, we in the Caribbean woman, we have faced so many things growing up as little girls. We have had experiences, a lot of us, molested, incest, abuse, physical, mental, emotional, we have a lot of baggage, a lot of weight and a lot of regrets, a lot of hurt from words said, a lot of pain from broken relationships, broken marriages, we carry so much pain. You could bottle it and you could sell it on the market because we have so much pain inside of us. Yes, pain that we suppress and we just keep moving on. So again, as I was telling my daughter, as I mentioned, when we look at the Garden of Eden, we only see the apple, Adam and Eve. We only see the sin. We only see the wrong and the ripple effect of the wrong because that's all we learn. So I have learned to see before the apple. I'm seeing the innocent. I'm seeing God walking in the garden with Adam and Eve before the fruit was bitten. That period of innocence and perfection, because His word says, "Be perfect, even as I am perfect." You understand? So I want to say, go back to your place of innocence before somebody told you that you were ugly or thin or your hair picky or you're fat or you're short or you're tall. Go back to that place of innocence in yourself. Go back. Some of us have to go real far back. Meditate and go back to your place of innocence before people told you who you were and who you're supposed to be. And remember before the apple and take that innocence with you every day and use that in every time you have to face something. Remember before the apple, that innocence. Remember that in your own life.
Well, Michelle, thank you very much for speaking with us. I know that I learned a lot. And I am sure that the viewers and listeners will also learn a lot. I know that I said that this was my last question, but for persons who are interested in connecting with you, how can they do that?
So you can reach me at 868-798-9348. You can also go to any of my social media, Selecfit Shapewear. We are on everything. You can send me a message there. You can send me a WhatsApp at the 798-868-798-9348. We're available every day, Sunday to Sundays. You can send us a message and we will respond.
Thanks again, Michelle, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you and God bless you. Thank you so much.